This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content.
Okay. So the Browns announced a new colorway, kind of, but definitely a new helmet to go with this colorway. Here is the video announcing what they are calling the Alpha Dog colorway. Play the video, man. Yes. They also did an integration with Pat McAfee to help announce this, raise awareness, I guess. They brought on one of the 12 mascots that the Cleveland Browns have now to go on Pat McAfee Show and talk about this new helmet. This is that clip.
How often will we wear this season? How often will we be wearing these? 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. Okay, these are beautiful. What color jersey probably will be worn? Same color. Oh, we're going. Color rush.
Okay.
Oh,
Matte brown? What is that?
We like this. Yeah, it is a matted brown. Obviously, got to earn your orange stripes out there in Cleveland. I mean, that's what you got to do. Brownie, you getting one of these helmets on that big-ass head of yours? Congratulations. This is really cool. I like all the alt uniforms, alt jerseys, alt helmets. I like the way the NFL creates. And this one is called the Alpha Dog.
Oh, really? Great name.
Yeah, I'm just getting information here. The Alpha Dog. It's a helmet that features a matte all-brown shell, brown stripe between 2 orange stripes in the middle of an all-brown face mask. This will be the first time in the history of the organization that a brown helmet will be worn.
Wow.
Really? Cleveland Browns wearing a brown helmet, first time ever. Respect that. Alpha Dog embodies what we set out to be as the Cleveland Browns. Leaders of the pack.
I can't see, that's a mascot.
I can't hear him.
You see what I'm saying? That's a mascot.
Pro.
Right there.
Do it again. Get right in his face. Get right in his face. Please.
John Halliburton.
See?
Alpha Dog.
No flubs. That's a mascot.
They also released what games they will be wearing this helmet and this new colorway with, and more pictures of it in lighting that I think is going to be closer to what you're going to see on game day, right? So what I think is interesting about this colorway is the brown out color rush jersey, which started, I believe, in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe it was a year earlier. I think it was supposed to start in 2017, but the Browns were 0-16, so they scrapped it, and then they started it really wearing it 2018. Now that's a different variation of what they have now, but it was they had a nice little stripe on the side of the pants, and then they had 2 stripes on the shoulders. It's basically the one you associate with Baker Mayfield, right? He debuted in that color brush jersey, and then I think they wore it pretty much the entire 2019 season as their home uniform. Then when the Browns got off of those horrendous Nike, I don't know what you want to call them, but the jerseys the Browns are wearing from 2015 to 2019, one of the worst uniforms of all time. They switched off of that, and then when they made that change, they also changed the color rush jersey to be a bit more, simple. So brown only on the jersey, no stripes, and then brown pants. I don't dislike that change, but I did realize that with the changes that the Browns have made to the helmet, it just doesn't match that color rush anymore, right? When the Browns still had a brown face mask, a matte orange helmet, it fit a little bit better than like the glossy orange helmet that they have now with the white face mask. So in order to wear that color rush jersey, they would have to make some changes. And I think that's part of why the Browns have been favoring that throwback uniform more with the white helmet, which I do think is a great look. I think the white helmet, top tier cooking by Nike in the Cleveland Browns here. Now they have introduced a all brown variant, right? They have the all white variant, all brown variant, and please, I hope we are saved from the god awful all orange variant. I know there's some people in the fan base, some people who watch this channel who desperately want the Browns to go all orange. I don't. If I wanted to see all orange, I'd watch Clemson religiously on Saturdays, and I don't watch Clemson. So that's where I'm at with it. Let's look at some pictures and kind of just talk about how this uniform looks, what we think about it, and just have some fun here. So I'm going to split screen it here with the debut of what games they're going to be wearing it for. So Sunday, September 21st, 1 p.m. Against the Packers. Then Sunday, October 19th against the Miami Dolphins. And then Sunday, December 7th against the Tennessee Titans. Now, here's something that I do find interesting. I think that under certain lighting conditions, this all brown uniform is going to look pretty cool. The issue is the one lighting condition I do not think this all brown uniform is going to look good in is 1 o'clock on Sunday. This to me feels like a perfect Thursday night game uniform, right? Something that when you're playing at 8 o'clock, the stadium lights are bearing on it. This looks pretty cool, right? I think it's going to look awesome if they ever get to use these uniforms at night. But the fact is the Browns don't have a single primetime game this year, which means they have to wear these uniforms pretty much exclusively during the daytime. Like, they don't even have a lot of afternoon games this year. So that kind of is going to probably step on how these look to start, because I don't think these are uniforms that you're meant to look at during the day, right? I think the point of this uniform is that it's kind of like a stealthy look. It's basically as close to an all black uniform as the Cleveland Browns can get. And all black uniforms, if you watch a lot of college football, usually hit at night. The Browns have no night games. So I don't know how this is going to look on TV when we first see it. I think this is going to be something that we're going to have to appreciate down the line versus that first year it rolls out, because I don't think it's going to look as good. Like, I think the all white uniforms look their best probably in like 4 o'clock games. I don't mind how they look at night games, but really the 4 o'clock games where you get a little bit of sun, get the sunset with the all white, it looks pretty cool, looks pretty pristine. I don't think these uniforms are going to look that great during the daytime, because the matte helmet would smack at night, right? But the matte helmet during the day, it's not going to look as great. And there's a lot of other things. Now, obviously, if the Browns look amazing playing football in these uniforms, it's not going to care whether it's day or night. You're going to love this colorway. If the Browns look like garbage in these uniforms, it's not going to matter whether this game was in pristine lighting conditions or not. You're going to hate these uniforms, right? So understanding that how they perform in these uniforms is going to greatly color how much appreciation you end up having for it in the long run, which is just the truth, right? You're going to associate certain uniforms with certain emotions. It's why I hate the 2015 to 2019 jerseys, because not only did I think aesthetically those jerseys were ugly, the football I watched them play in those uniforms was also disgusting. So I understand that argument, right? There's always going to be a couple of fans that get down in the comment section, tell me, oh man, it doesn't matter if it looks good or not. If they win in them, then they'll believe, blah, blah, blah. I got you. I understand the argument, my man. Now they're calling this the Alpha Dog. The Alpha Dog colorway, which I find a bit cringy. It's also sponsored by Ass Wipes. So I don't know, man. I think some people have pointed out the absurdity of the Browns having an all-brown uniform sponsored by an ass wipe company, or dude wipes, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's definitely something that you're setting yourself up for. Let's get some full-size images in here, right? So we can really look at this uniform and give it a fair shake, right? Like, so we have this picture of it. This is more of a close-up on the helmet, and you see what I mean? They're going for like an all-black look. That's why the helmet is matte. Think of this like, I think this is kind of like their version of that Ohio State colorway where they have like the all black. Now, I think there was a lot more room, and maybe in the future, there's a lot more room to take this helmet and build upon it, right? Like, I think maybe instead of just a regular orange, maybe you can add a more metallic looking orange, and then you can really play with some of the reflections, how this helmet would look, and really play with like what the uniform itself looks like. Because I do think the uniform they're pairing this with, their brown color rush that they've had since 2020, is just a bit too basic to be versatile, right? It's why I don't think that uniform is going to look very good during the day, but at night it will look fine. They can add more character to that, right? The helmet, you're kind of stuck with the helmet, right? Because the Browns helmet can only be changed but so much. It's a lot of history tied to that helmet. It's literally one of the first helmets to exist in professional football. So you can't just do whatever with the Browns helmet, right? Now, here's what I mean, where I'm like, oh, okay, I think these uniforms will look a lot better at night, right? This picture right here kind of illustrates it, where it's like, oh yeah, this looks really cool. It looks really stealthy. You know, if you're coming out at night and they black out the stadium and they're doing the strobe lights, and then you see these dudes come out in that's gonna look awesome. But during the day, might not look awesome. But I do think at night it'll look awesome, right? And I like the sheen that the Color Rush jersey has, right? There's some reflective material on it. Again, I think there's room to get a lot more experimental and creative with what the jersey itself looks like. I don't mind the all brown aesthetic, especially when it's that dark of a brown, right? It's kind of your version of an all black uniform, like I said before. But if we pull up what Ohio State's all black uniform looks like, right? Knowing that Ohio State has similar limitations on their helmet, so they can't really get too creative with their helmet. But look at what Ohio State does with like the detail of the uniform to really make that all black pop, right? They play with some bright colors at the numbers, which the Browns could do. Like you could do an orange letter with like a white outline and then have more of a stripe there on the shoulders. Maybe you can keep the traditional stripe. Maybe you could try a new stripe. I think something on the pants to fit that would look pretty cool too. Maybe I can cook up something in a Team Builder to show you guys what I mean. Okay, so I did go into Team Builder and I made what I was kind of talking about, which is that Ohio State kind of version of the blackout. I'm gonna be honest, I like it a little bit less than how it looked in my head. And maybe the people at Nike can make this concept a little bit better. But if you look at this versus like the Color Rush during the day, at least in the NCAA engine, you can see how like this looks kind of boring during the day, where this has a lot more interesting stuff going on. Obviously, they don't have to do this exact thing, right? They wouldn't customize it, but just like envisioning how that would look in Browns colors in this colorway. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, where like during the day, I don't think this is going to look great, but at night it will. Cause like, look how that matte reflects off the sun. It just gives you a very brown looking uniform. Whereas like during the nighttime, it gives you more of that intended feel, right? And this is a nighttime picture in the NCAA, well, college football engine, through Team Builder. And then you can see like the Ohio State kind of hybrid version of this as well. In that same engine, where I'm like, okay, this would be a lot more interesting to look at. And at night, you know, the reflection of the numbers comes off a lot better and all of that. So that's kind of just what I was talking about. Wanted to add some like actual examples of what I meant instead of just like vaguely talking about it. But back to the video. But I think there's a lot more room for creativity with this. It's just like kind of like right now they're announcing the helmet. I hope they announce like that the brown out colorway is going to get a little bit more creative over time, right? Again, like at night, this is going to look awesome. I just wonder how it's going to look during the day, because you see how the light reflects off that helmet, and it does it in a very specific way because it's a matte helmet. And it reveals, like, it looks more brown than a blackout during the day, basically, right? Which I don't know it's going to look as cool. Like, you know, you can kind of see it here where this looks more like nighttime lighting, where you're like, you get that kind of blackout effect here with Jerry Jeudy in this picture. Denzel Ward, a similar kind of thing here. Like this picture with David Njoku, I think this really sells the ideal of this during night. It's going to look really cool. Right? This is kind of a blackout look that's super basic, right? I don't mind basic at night during the blackout because the details are going to matter a lot less because you're going to see less. During the day, I think the details do matter a little bit more. And I think that's where you start to have issues. And you can see like with how the players are choosing to accessorize with this, they're viewing this as a blackout jersey, right? The black sleeve here, David Njoku, who usually goes orange with or white. He's going all black right here, right? Like this is kind of what they're going for, right? Is an all black kind of look. Now, when you have this in more light and you can see like that it's just brown and this really dull orange, that's where it doesn't look that great. And I think 1 o'clock at Sunday is just a horrible time for these uniforms. So that's the Browns' new uniforms, sponsored by Ass Wipes. You guys, let me stop before I don't get to do anything. before Dude Wipes gets mad at me, I never get that ass wipe deal. But this is the Browns' new helmet. You know, they're pairing it with their old Color Rush. I don't mind the helmet. I know people are going to have thoughts on it. The Browns don't really have much they can really do with the helmet, right? I don't think they should slap a stupid elf logo on it. I don't want the dog on the damn helmet. I don't want a logo on the helmet, right? If you look at Ohio football, professional to upper level college, right? We're talking about Big Ten and above football. No Ohio team has a logo on their helmet. Ohio State, no logos. The closest they have is the helmet stickers for achievement, but it is a logoless helmet design. The Cincinnati Bengals, they have a pattern, but no logo on their helmet. The Cleveland Browns, famous for being a logoless helmet design. And I think that's a piece of identity that's not just unique to the Browns, but unique to the state of Ohio. And it's something that the Browns should retain. I don't think they should just be throwing out logos on that helmet. And it's the NFL. You don't do helmet stickers in the NFL. So I get that the helmet's going to be a little basic. I think in order to offset it, I think there's a place for what the Browns have here. Like, I think there's a place for this specifically at night. I think if they want to make this more of a versatile helmet that they could wear with different looks, maybe updating the Color Rush jersey to have a lot more going on. So during the daytime, it's not as dull, right? Which I worry about in the middle of the day. This is not going to look the greatest. which, like, if you look at Ohio State's all black uniforms, they look great during the day. They look great during night, right? Because they have a lot going on that you can see during the day, but at night, it's that classic blackout look. The colors and the matte stuff reflects really well. And I think they could take some hints from that, right? More metallic orange, something more reflective. Just give it a little bit more detail there. And they have the chance to do that over the next few years because I think they're stuck with this specific color rush jersey for like 5 years. So maybe next year they're going to introduce a better color rush jersey to go with this, and I think that'll complete the look, and they can actually debut that at night, which would be awesome. But that's my thoughts on this. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of this? Or, you know, does this uniform combination disgust you? Let's find out down below in the Ass Wipes comment section. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace. I gotta chill on dude wipes, man.